Welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. Talking about the victory system again, second week in a row. Last week I talked about some of the basics of the system and mechanics. This week I'm going to talk about character creation. Actually, I'm going to start talking about character creation. There are a number of things to cover here, and I'm going to cover the basics today. That being statistics, skills, derived statistics, merits, and flaws. There's a bunch of other awesome stuff to come after that, but that'll get us started, I think. Statistics. There are 6 of them. Strength, stamina, agility, dexterity, intelligence, and perception. Strength is a general measurement of how much force the character can exert, how much they can lift, how much damage that they do. Stamina is a general measurement of the character's ability to resist things like damage. Resisting damage, resisting environmental things, even mental resistance to a certain degree. Agility, full body reflexes, things that require the entire body to do, such as acrobatics or really intense driving or piloting. Dexterity, hand-eye coordination, ranged attacks, things that involve very delicate use of the hands, watchmaking, and the like. Intelligence, raw memory and processing power. Your academic skills are usually going to be based off of an intelligence roll. And perception, raw ability of the body to body and brain to collate the senses, to use them to perceive things and to collate that information from the universe around the character. 3 ways to generate statistics. There is the standard roll. There is a chart that appears twice in the book, once at the beginning in character creation, once in the reference and back. The lower you roll on a 1d20, the higher your stat is on the stat chart. The chart is going to average you with a stat around 7, but extraordinary stats are, of course, not only possible, but kind of fun. If you just roll 6 times, get 6 numbers, and assign those numbers to the stats as you like them, that is the standard roll. That is System 1. System 2, hardcore rolling. That means you roll 6 numbers in a row and assign them as you rolled them to the stats in a row. First roll goes to strength, second roll goes to stamina, etc. That is a little bit more challenging, and so as a result of that, if you roll hardcore, your character gets a bonus merit. We'll cover merits in a bit. The third method, if you have a character that's been made artificially, they're android or gynoid, or they've been genetically modified or created whole cloth, you can purchase your statistics. The victory system uses cash money, dollars, as a currency for all kinds of improvement and purchase of things. In this case, your character gets $35,000, which, according to the charts available in the book, is enough to buy every statistic at 7. Or you can spend it differently, lower some, raise some others, and get a spread that you want, purchasing your stats rather than rolling for them. Little bit odd, not really what I would recommend for a beginner, but certainly something that can be done. Having your stats, you should go on to skills. There are different categories of skills. They do not correspond to stats. There's athletics, your combat skills, your espionage skills, your crafting skills, knowledge skills, and transport skills. There is another variety of skills. We will get to those because they are almost optional. There are a number of skills in each of these categories. They range from 0, you know nothing about this subject and don't really have that much of a chance to succeed at it, to a 6, where you are the master of that skill. People seek you out from far and away. 6 is as high as you can normally get in a skill. A 1, passing familiarity. At 3, you can make a living with that skill. You have 50 points to spend on skills. No, it's not enough. By design, You can get more skill points a number of different ways, but starting off with 50, good baseline character. Not going to be a master of everything, but you could certainly master a couple of things at that level. Then there are the derived statistics. This is where the math comes in. The math in the system is front loaded. Most everything you're going to be doing after character creation is simple addition and subtraction, maybe occasionally dividing by 2. And I'm not going to cover all of the formulas for all of the derived statistics. Those are on the character sheet, and they are all basic. I'll cover some of them, but they're pretty basic and kind of easy to work out. Good calculator, if you need that, should help. Secondary statistics. Shrugs. General measurement of how much damage the character can take. Not really the same as hit points. It's how many times you can shrug off damage. We'll cover damage being taken and done in a future video. And that's half your stamina. You're going to round up on these. You're always going to round up. The most you're going to get after a whole number is a 0.5 because you are usually dividing by 2, and that will give you a 0.5 round up. It's math. We follow the standard rounding conventions of this. If it's a 0.5 or higher, you round up. If it's 0.4 or lower, you round down. Speed and your agility, your dexterity, your running. Measure how fast the character is, certain measure of their reflexes. Will, very important. Stamina plus intelligence divided by 2. The average of your stamina and intelligence. Will governs a number of things, but it is the character's mental resistance and the force of their personality. Initiative, that's actual reflex speed. Who's going first? Dexterity plus perception divided by 2. Average of dexterity and perception. Damage resistance, your character's ability to resist taking damage. Again, we'll deal with damage being taken and done further down the line. Your damage resistance, twice your stamina times 2. And then risk. I discussed risk last week. That is your will stat multiplied by 10, the measurement of the energy the character has flowing through them that they can use to alter probability and power effects. There's another branch of statistics called performance statistics. How high you can jump, how far you can jump, how fast you can run, how much you can lift, deadlift, and roughly how far you can throw. All of those have their own formulas. They get a little convoluted. Nothing that a calculator won't get you past. I like having all these calculated up front, mostly because it speeds up gameplay. There's never a question of, well, can I make that jump, or how high can I go, or how fast can I run? You have all that here. And if you need to push that or get around that number, or there's some chance you might not be able to make it, that's when a roll comes in. So that'd be statistics. I did like front loading the math so that once you got it, you write the number down and you don't have to deal with it again. You just have it so you can reference it. Merits and flaws. Merits and flaws are advantages and disadvantages, things that give the character extra functionality. Let them stand out above the rest. There is a good selection of merits and flaws here in the basic book. There are merits and flaws occur throughout the system, and I added some as I went throughout and I wrote supplements. There is a compilation of them, the Merits and Flaws Compendium, which has the entire list. I update that and update the file associated with it. So if you purchase that book, you just have a constant flowing access to changes as they come up. I'm not going to read an exhaustive list of these, but I'll give you some ideas of the kinds of things that are available. Ambidexterity, being able to use both hands with the same facility, right and left are. So you get an extra attack because you've got the reflexes to use both sides of your body that well. Comely, you're very attractive. Deadly aim, you take you take less penalty for called shots. Iron will, bonus to your will. Master cook, you're a natural cook and have a tendency to just make things other than you've got a big bonus of cooking skill, and you are considered a talent at the act of cooking. Stuff just kind of happens under your hands in the kitchen. A pro lifter, it's easier for you to push yourself and lift more than you should normally be able to. Steel trap mind, never forget anything. There's a lot of these in here. There's a couple of different kinds, however, that I do need to point out. Starting with athlete. Athlete is one of the stats, or one of the merits, that is associated with an entire branch of skills, athletics. If you have the athlete merit, you have a +1 to all of your athletic skills. If you have a 6 in one of your athletic skills, that gets bumped up to a 7, a legendary, near unheard of level of ability in that field. Someone with a 7 in their lifting skill is one of the greatest power lifters who has ever existed. You have that for each of these skill categories. You have badass for combat, crafty for crafting, knowledgeable for knowledge, and those give you that +1 to all of those skills. Very useful to have. Then there are 5 special merits. They are martial artist, mind of power, moda mechanica, preternatural, and spell slinger. Each of these opens up another range of abilities for the character. You get access to one of those skills I mentioned before, one of those almost optional skills. If you take the spell slinger merit, you get the do magic skill, and you also get the ability to buy magic spells with the rest of your starting budget. Martial artist, you get to buy martial arts abilities. Moda mechanica, you get to buy mechanica, cybernetics, body prosthesis, things like that. Preternatural, you get to buy superpowers. And mind of power, you get to buy psionic abilities. Mix and match as you like. These things cost characters money as they go on. So that is something to consider what you want your character to be able to do. Once you have, your character starts with 5 merits. 6 if you roll the character hardcore. If you want more merits, you can have up to 5 more. You get 5 more merits by taking 5 flaws. You can take a maximum of 5 flaws for a total of 10 merits, 11 if you rolled hardcore. Flaws are things which introduce difficulties to the characters. Things like being asthmatic. You don't have as much personal energy as most folks. You run out of gas pretty easily. Bad cook, the opposite of being a master cook. You cannot have both of those. If you're a bad cook, you are a disaster in the kitchen. Things just go wrong whenever you get in the kitchen, and it's very difficult for you to actually produce anything like edible food. I've had people with this merit use it as a threat. I guess I'll just tell me what I want to know, or I'll cook for you. Dishonored, your character has had something happen in their past, which means that people that they would normally associate won't associate with them and look upon them unfavorably. Lower tech, you do not have the same tech level as the people around you. You're a bit primitive by the standards of the technology that is commonly available to most folks. Personal dedication, there's someone out there who you are going to prioritize above everything else, and if they get in danger, you're going to break heaven and earth to do stuff for them, regardless of what is happening to anyone else at the moment. There's a number of these that don't really have special categories like the merits do. There aren't any that detract from an entire skill. You can end up with fewer skill points or less money as a result of having these. But up to 5 of them, they can add character flavor. They allow the game master to have hooks in the character and to throw complications in as things go on. Be careful when you are selecting flaws, because the game master is instructed to make sure that they are used and become relevant during the game. And that's the basics. Once you've gone through these steps, the stats, the skills, derived statistics, and merits and flaws, you've got the basics of a victory character. Many victory characters do not go very much further past this point. What is past this point? Well, you've got $50,000 in improvement budget. Give or take, there are merits that increase this amount. There are flaws which decrease it. On the average, $50,000 in improvement. The game master might declare there is more or less depending on how experienced and powerful they want the starting characters to be. 50,000 is the default. That is used for equipment. The character's starting equipment, what shows up on the character sheet when they start up first day of play. You can use this to increase statistics, buy more merits, or buy more ranks and skills. But also, this is the budget from which you will purchase magical spells, mechanica, martial arts, psionics, powers. This is where those come from, and that money goes really, really fast when you are dealing with those things. The money goes fast, however, it sounds like an awful lot of money to drop on top of a character. Hey, you're a starting character at $50,000. Sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. It goes much faster than you would like it to, and you might end up making a deal with the game master to get more or get something for free. Talk about the deal. It's a mechanic I didn't mention that last week. It's more relevant now. During character creation, it's the first time that you're likely to encounter the deal. The player wants something, the game master wants something, they haggle for it. The player wants more money to spend for their character's budget. The game master would like someone in the party who is going to be more likely to be contacted by the villain. So you want another $15,000 of budget. Okay, you can have $15,000 of budget, but I need you to put a flaw on your character sheet. You don't know what this flaw is. Just write Game Master flaw, and I will let you know exactly what it is when it comes into play. That is the deal. Take it or leave it. It allows the Game Master to have some input and some control, to put some hooks into the party and to keep things interesting. It's never going to be anything that flat out destroys the character or makes them unplayable, because that's not the goal here. The goal is to give the player the option to do the things that they want to do, and if they need to reach a little bit for it, let's the game master do some things the game master wants to do. It's the deal. There's give and take, and that is a short form of saying nothing's carved in stone. Someone's got a better idea for how to do this. Someone thinks maybe if I just exceed this once, if the game master's okay with it, maybe we can do things just a little bit differently. Sure, that's fine. It's your game once you got it in your hands. I'm interested to see what you end up doing with it. So we're going to hold it for now. There's two other things I want to talk about with characters. Each of those is going to be an episode of its own. Next week, we'll talk about special abilities. And the week after that, we will talk about equipment, which is a kind of a thing of its own in the victory system. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Looking forward to hearing what you think of this. If there's any questions that you have about the victory system or other stuff that I cover, subjects like to hear me cover, questions like to hear me answer, please leave me a comment down below. I will love getting your comment. You'll love leaving me one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why not? My channel is awesome. I invite you to hit the subscribe button. If you do, you probably want to hit the little notification bell so you're alerted when my videos become available. If you would like to contribute to my channel in a more substantial manner, I invite you to hit me up my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ScottCorum, and consider donating. Absolutely anything helps. Allows me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Corum. This is What Has Mattered to Me. I'll see you next time on the next Matters of the Corum.